wanted to speak to you that I am not a good speaker. The talk which we are having here, they are focused on Meher Baba, and it is just a heart-to-heart talk, not well-organized talks. And that is the reason why I never take out notes. If I take out notes and refer to the notes often, then I miss the feeling in communication. That is why I never refer to notes. I never take out notes. This thing happens during my singing also. Whenever I am required to refer to the book for singing, I miss the feeling. That I never like. So I always like to close my eyes and then sing. This is, you may say that this is my weakness, but it's a weakness. That is what it is. Now today, while last week I was just shuffling through my old notes and old papers. There are lots and lots and lots of papers with me. Some are rough jotting, the rough drafts and correspondence and this and that. So much of pamphlets and whatnot. I was just trying to arrange them in order, but then one letter which came to my heart, my hand, that prompted me to put that matter before all of you. It's a letter from Barnathu to me. Barnathu had, I was in good friendship with Barnathu. We always used to share with each other whatever is happening there and whatever is happening at my end. So that letter was in fact addressed to K.K. Ramakrishnan, who was not keeping a good health and was admitted to hospital. And Bala Sahib, we call him Bala Sahib, Balnathu. He had written a letter to K.K. Ramakrishnan, and the copy of that letter was sent to me directly. A little portion of that letter I would like to read here. And thereafter I shift to the main subject, getting prompting from that very portion of that letter. I would read the letter before you. The letter is dated 5th of September 2000, as old as now these are 2023 is the range, it is of 2000. What Balnathu writes here is, as one of your friends, I deeply appreciated the work you are doing in the Baba cause for over 45 years with the same zest and total trust in Baba as the avatar. The books published by Poona Center is an unparalleled work, so quietly done in the best of ways, befitting the avatar. As you already know, for the last few years, I am also not keeping well. But medical treatment at Mirazad keeps me going. I visit the trust office only on Wednesdays for a few hours. For over 45 years, I have not traveled beyond Pune. As for the physical health, just listen to this now. As for the physical health of those at Mirazad, most of us are sailing in the same boat. But Irishbhai and Gover are bearing the brunt. This reminds me of a quote of a great Christian saint, who in her suffering said to Jesus, in her suffering, she says to Jesus, now I know why you have so few friends. I repeat, she says to Jesus, out of the the agonies that she had, she says, now I know why you have so few friends. But his love is indeed a priceless blessing. This letter came to my hand, and then I found it very proper. I like that expression that this is now I know why you have so few friends. If we compare this letter with Baba's field of work and Baba's followers, we would also say the same thing. Just few weeks ago, I had a talk with my son Prashant, and he suggested me the name of Jean Sloss. Her earlier name was Jean Adriel, who was the author of the book Avatar. And Prashant had read something about her, and he quoted what Baba said, to her. And he suggested me that one session I should talk on that topic. I was in search of that particular incident when Baba had conversation with her, but I could not find, because I don't have that sort of a technical know-how how to find out how to readily make the material readily available. So I just talked to Ganesh, our great Ganesh. You all know about Ganesh. Ganesh is a very active boy. I told him that such and such thing had been told to me by Prashant. I would like to have the portion if you can find out. And very promptly, Ganesh sent me that part of the conversation between Meher Baba uh, and Jean. That portion is a beautiful conversation. I would just say very touching, very touching. There is not much information available about Jean Adriel, in spite of the fact that early times she was very active and very sincere in Baba's love. But thereafter, somehow it was said that she had drifted away from Mir Baba. But maybe may not be so, because once you come in Baba's contact, temporarily you can go little away, but then his grip is so very strong that he won't allow you to go out of his control. Dr. Ghani used to tell us that as regards Baba is concerned, there is entrance but no exit. There is entrance but no exit. Now what Ganesh has made available is, I have just taken it on my mobile, and you will just read the whole thing. It's a very beautiful piece of information. The heading given is temporarily cruel to be permanently kind. Temporarily cruel to be permanently kind. Ever since leaving India, Jean Adriel felt estranged estranged. In India, she had been ill and depressed, and on board the ship to France, she was ill and feeling unkind towards everyone. The cabin she shared with her husband Malcolm was far away from Baba and the other women, and she hardly saw anyone during the voyage. She did not know, however, that Baba would visit her cabin at 3 p.m., 3 a.m. Sorry. Baba would visit her cabin at 3 a.m. Such an odd hour, 3 a.m. early in the morning, immediately after midnight. She did not know, however, that Baba would visit her cabin at 3 a.m. to see how she was and to watch over her as she slept. In Canis, that is the place where Baba stayed. In Canis, Jean became more and more depressed until on the night of October 9th, 1937, she left the house determined to die. She was so very mentally upset, so very in a depressed condition of mind that she decided to commit a suicide. And she left the house. Baba being the ever vigilant of his birds, we are all his birds. Baba being ever vigilant of his birds, as he once put it, noticed she was missing and sent a search party to bring her back. Baba acted immediately, sent somebody to bring her back. The next day, Baba took her head in his hands. It's a beautiful expression every time. It's a very, very pleasant gesture from Meher Baba. Whenever he wants to express his love, he will hold your head in his two palms. I had personally that experience. So it is very pleasant experience, I tell you. So the next day, Baba took her head in his hands and looked into her eyes. Baba deeply looked into her eyes, asking, "You think I am cruel?" What a question. You think I am cruel? She could not prevent herself from saying what she felt. You are cruel. That is what she said to Baba, you are cruel. Maybe out of her frustration that she said. She was bold enough to say so. Anybody else would have hesitated to say, but then she was in so much of depressed mood that she very openly said that, yes, Baba, you are cruel. Baba replied, I must be temporarily cruel. I must be temporarily cruel in order to be permanently kind. What a beautiful expression is Baba has given. Baba has given an answer to her feeling. I must be temporarily cruel in order to be permanently kind. Looking at her with compassion, he added, the day will come when even the memory of this pain will be completely obliterated by the all-consuming joy which will flood your soul. That is Baba is explaining. This is a passing fire, passing phase. Await for a good days. Everything will be, all these agonies and suffering will be washed off. And what will remain is you and me. Even after some time, even you will not remain, only you will be merged in me. Jean wept and said, but Baba, the night is so long. The night is so long. Baba smiled and spelled out. But when dawn comes, you will see that everything you are bearing now would have been worth bearing 1,000 years, 1,000 times. What we are bearing now, it will be worth bearing for 1,000 times. What a expression Baba is given. So a conversation is so very beautiful, so very touching to heart. Baba explained, I push you away, then draw you close. Again, I push you off and draw you even closer. Now I push you far away. And the next time I draw you back to me, it will be to remain one with my universal self forever. This will be the end of all that suffering which you are undergoing now. During the most of his stay in Canis, Baba kept Malcolm's loss aloof. Malcolm was instructed to stay in his room and fast in solitude. This is all about that meeting with. It's a beautiful piece, beautiful expression, a beautiful question, beautiful expression of feelings, and very consoling answer from Meher Baba, which Baba had said that this time will pass off and a time will come when only you will remain in my universal soul. Now, the question is, when we achieve that state, to be one with the universal soul, all the agonies which we have undergone until that time, they will be washed off from our mind. They will not remain there. So the difference that is required to be felt, different the difference in the present state and the different thereafter when we achieve that particular state, the difference will be washed off because we'll be enjoying there with him. Now, during Baba's visit, Baba had stayed. When Baba was in London, in that retreat of which was run by Meredith Starr. Yes, Meredith Starr. She was running a retreat, and Baba, he had invited Baba. Baba was staying there. Baba had spent some days there. And one Watson, a old elderly person, he had invited Baba to US. He had told Baba. There is long story about it, but I won't repeat. I won't tell it now because nothing on the main subject. Now Baba according to that, Baba, this what I said now, that the owner of that retreat, he had received two letters from Jean Adriel, Jean Schloss and Malcolm Schloss, husband and wife. They were in US and they had sent two letters to Baba uh, through that person who was owning that retreat. And in that, she had expressed her experience which had got. So she was always in that state of mind and getting some sort of experiences either during a sort of dreams or some hallucinations or some sort of some experience she had explained to Baba. And then when Baba decided to go to America, visit America, Malcolm and Jean, they wrote to Baba that we are waiting for your arrival and we have arranged everything. So when Baba went to US, he stayed with a place called
Harmon on the Hudson.
Hudson, yes. At that place, Baba stayed there. Hermit on the Hudson. Baba stayed there, and all these happenings. She had, I think, she had visited India also, Jean Adil. Now, during that some trip thereafter, Baba had traveled several times to European countries, and during that time, Baba had given his method of working. It's a beautiful piece of explanation by Baba, given by Baba about how he works. Baba had said that I work on three types of working. First is I work individually. On individual persons I work. Second one is I work collectively. And third type is I work universally. Now, universally working is out of our conception. We cannot even have any remote ideas about how Baba must be working. But a little suggestion was going that he works through his spiritual agents, but we never can grasp that type of Baba's working. Baba's collective working, we can imagine that Baba has said that avatars periods, during the avatar period, the level of consciousness of humanity is raised. We have witnessed so many things, so many developments in every field of life. That is the resultant product of avatars being avatar dwelling on this earth. That is during the avatar's advent. All these happenings have taken place. The level of consciousness has been raised. Man is gone to the extent of creating what they call is a artificial, say, medium person to even to perform operations, surgeries and all that.
Robots?
Sorry?
Robots?
याला काय म्हणतात ती यंत्रमानवाला काय म्हणतात robos. He has created robots even for performing operations. He has gone to that extent. This is collective working. And on individual levels, Baba said that there are three types. One is I work with those who are very close to me, who are living very close to me. The other is, second one is, who are far away from me and they undergo suffering. I have, my eyes are there on them. I make them suffer. I allow them suffer. I leave them to suffer for their good. And the third is that I have connection with people who are maybe near me or maybe away from me. And I look to their spiritual upliftment. These are the three types. Now coming to Baba's circle. All those people who are staying with Baba, they are called Mandali. We know. Now, common person in the world, he feels that when you are following Master, your life should be very easy going. Quite your health should be in a very good condition. You should get plenty of money for your use, and you should live very luxuriously. That is the idea of following a master. Now here, Mehba's Mandali, very close Mandali, everybody has got some ailment, some physical ailment. They have undergone unimaginable sufferings. Look, the life of Erich in his last days, what the reports we got to say, unbearable. For us, we felt it so very unbearable. Look at money. She was so very energetic, so very agile, so very creative, so very busy in her work. She was lying helplessly on a bed, very close to Baba, very close to Baba. And for a change, she will take a wheelchair and come out and sit there for some time outside. But she never avoided meeting with the people very lovingly. That was a very, very beautiful scene. When Mani used to talk with the people, never a tinge of agony or suffering could be seen on her face. She had a tremendous capacity of keeping that pain to herself, not to express it. Same case was Dr. Gover. That Gover had so many times he must have pricked that needle in Baba's skin. What she must have felt. A tremendous pain she must have felt herself. And Baba would always insist for any serious surgery, Baba would never allow to give him anesthesia. It is one very beautiful incident. Will sometime I will tell. But today, what I mean to say now, Mehra, coming to Mehra, she was so very dear to Meher Baba, and Meher Baba was living so dearly to her love for Meher Baba was so very She was a counterpart, said to be a counterpart of Mir Baba. And when traveling in a car, the car met with an accident at Oklahoma, and Mera had was very narrowly survived because there were multi, multi fractures inner skull. The doctor has a very tough time in setting everything in order. And only after attending to her, completing her job, completing his job with her of stitching and all these wounds and everything, then he turned to Mir Baba. But how she, a beloved of the beloved, how she suffered in spite of the fact that she is the most lovable, most person Baba loved. In spite of that, she had undergone all these suffering. Kakabaria, it is said that about 5-6 times he had a heart attack. In spite of that, he never left his service towards Mir Baba. Pendu, what a man he was. You know how that name has come. He, when he used to stand erect, he will move like this, like a pendulum. And from that pendulum, the name was given to him as a Pendu. His name was something different. He was maternal brother of their Baba, Masaji's son. Masaji was maternal uncle of Mir Baba, and his son was Pendu. So Pendu, I remember that once in 1954, when after the Wadia Park Darshan program, when a sahavas program was held in Mehrabad at the end of that month, earlier, 2 days earlier, that is the sahavas when Baba had given a final declaration. And that declaration was that he will die a violent death, and 3/4 of the world will be decided. They were the two uh, very public uh, announcement which he had made during that period. So just a couple of days before, not a couple of days, even 1 day before, there were heavy rains, and there were heavy rains making all the arrangement disturbed. Everywhere there was a mud, and overnight used to be Pendu used to be the in charge of the whole arrangement for Savas programs. There have been several Savas programs in Mehrabad those days, and Pendu was the person who was looking after all the arrangements. Of course, Padri was there, but Pendu was the person who was responsible for the comforts of the people attending the service. That time, in such a situation, overnight, for all these invitees, he had provided cots for sleeping. Early in the morning, two, two tablets of quinine were given to each savasi so that they should not catch cold and all that. And I remember that Baba was very happy with this arrangement which Pendu had made. Baba has always appreciated this. And after the Satara accident, Pendu was actually disabled not even able to stand. And in that condition, Baba is asking him to make an arrangement, as has been doing so far, make an arrangement for the sahavas of 1958. 56, Baba met with an accident, and Pendu was very seriously injured. His his whole body was had become, I mean, just shattered. So many fractures and so many, all that he has suffered. In spite of that, Baba is insisting that you don't avoid what I say. You have to do the whole arrangement for these 58 servers. And Pendu folding hands, he is repeatedly saying, he's weeping. Baba, I am not in a condition to bear that burden. I cannot even walk a little without help. And you want me to take the whole responsibility as I have been doing up till this time. It is not possible for me. Please excuse me. Please tell somebody else. And Baba just fires him. Baba says, don't avoid what I say. It is you who have to take this responsibility. Can you call it as a cruelty? Maybe, maybe one may say. And when the arrangements were made, the first day, those days, I have attended all the service programs, all the service programs. So this was 1958 when Baba's car used to come early in the morning. Baba used to stay in Merazad, and early in the morning, Eric would drive him to Mehrabad. And we young people, we are very energetic and young people, we would complete our bath, everything, and then prepare ourselves to receive Baba. Stand on the roadside. Baba's car comes there. As soon as Baba's car comes, there is a shout of Avatar, Mere Baba ki jai. And wherever Baba goes, we'll run after that car. And when Baba gets down, we'll walk with him wherever he goes. We'll take a round and then go and sit in the hall. By the time we will also gather there. So this was usual scenery of that Savas program. And that particular Savas, when Pendu was forced to take that responsibility after that everything was made sit right. The first day when Baba came, Baba's car came, we all shouted Jai Jakar. Baba's car went little ahead. It stopped by the roadside. Baba got down from there and straight away walked to the tent where Pendu was resting. And as he knew about that Baba is come, he immediately came out and Baba gave him a very warm embrace, a warm embrace. I still remember that scene because we are just following Mir Baba, running after him. Along with the cruelty, so-called cruelty, this compassion was there, this kindness was there. This was with all Mir Baba's Mandali people. I will give more examples. When Kisho Babu Nigam He has done a lot of work for Mir Baba in UP, in northern India. Lot of work, carrying the name to masses, giving beautiful talks, holding big melas. That man, in his old days, in his closing days of his life, he had a very peculiar, a very disease. He used to shake like this always. He was a person who used to translate on the spot Baba's messages. But when any sahavas programs, Baba used to give some explanations or message or something, he would translate into Hindi. Other people were translating in different language, but Keshav Babani will translate into Hindi, and he used to translate it so very nicely. He had a mastery on Hindi, and he used to translate in a beautiful way. And he had some sort of a trembling sweetness in his voice. It's very sweet. Whenever he used to talk or let us see, there was this a stinge of that sort of a feeling, and it was very pleasant feeling. Listeners used to feel that man, he was in the shaking like this all the time. And Baba once said that you will be all right. This all will go when I break my silence. And one last incident which I take is about Ramju Bhai. I remember once in Guruprasad, in the Mandali hall, Baba is sitting there on his cushion chair, and that day, particular day, more than the usual people had come and sat there before Baba. There was some serious discussion. I think perhaps it was something about the trust, Mir Baba trust. And all the hall, Mandali hall was full of people. And Baba was sitting there, and this Ramju Bhai was sitting little bit just in front of Baba, but little away from Baba. And Baba is conversing with so many people on so many topics. In that, Baba used to do several things. Whenever he sits in amongst the mandali, he will do several things. He will never keep quiet. He will never keep quiet. He will never make you quiet. He will always make you all attentive. We used to be very attentive. That is why I remember so many things. So this man was sitting there, and look at his condition. He was he was heavily breathing. He had a asthma. He had breathing trouble. And right in front of Baba, he trying to breathe like this, deep breathing. And Baba attend to so many people, and then looking at him. Then again he attends to some other thing. Then and again looks at him. And then he said, Baba, what says? Look at this man, Ramju. He does so much of work for me. He does so much of work for me in such a condition. In such a condition, he is doing so much of work for me. If I want, I can cure him in a minute. In a fraction of a second, I can cure him. But no, he has to undergo all these. This is my will. So all the mandalis, they were sharing Meher Baba's suffering. Meher Baba was suffering universally. They were sharing Meher Baba's suffering. If you look at Meher Baba's life right from the beginning, if you look at Meher Baba's life right from the beginning, in his early age, school going age, he was so very broad-hearted. There are instances which have been reporting in this life story that during those times, whatever food he was getting, he would part of that he will distribute among the animals, his dogs and cows. He will steal money from the pockets of his father and give to the poor people. Even in that age, he was not for himself. He never bothered whether I will need money or I am hungry myself. Maybe that he may be hungry, but then even then, whenever he sees anybody who is asking for food, he will just give her food. That was his very basic nature. And the same nature continued after he got a kiss from Meher Baba and all that process of achieving that highest state and then coming down to the level of human consciousness to work as the author of the age. Now, the financial condition of that family, when Shiryaji, his father, was alive, it was quite good, fairly good, because Shirley was having some toddy trees taken on auction, and then he was running toddy shop. Thereafter, he was running tea shop also. One can say that they were well-to-do middle-class family, and Mirwan could have easily taken up a happy life as his mother wanted. His mother always thought that he will take a good business or he will take a good service, a very high ranking service or a very good business and earn lot of money. And he will marry a good girl and have a lot of children. That was the dream of his mother. But all that dream was shattered by one kiss on his forehead. And thereafter, what was Meherba's life? Meherba's life was full of seclusion. Meherba's life was full of fasts. The fasts were not with sumptuous faral, but sumptuous breakfast, but even without, even on water or without water, or just 1 cup of tea or 1 cup of milk or 1 cup of light juice, and that too for days together. For days together. This ekantavas or this seclusion also for days together, this fast also for days together. That is the life Mirba was leading. And travels, so many travels, wherever he goes, the travels was, remember, it was not for enjoyment. It was only for his internal work, spiritual work. During that time, he will be always in search of a must. He will contact those musts, he'll make contact with those, he work with the must. He will have a poor work for the poor people, washing their feet, bowing down their feet, and giving them some money or something, some gift in a kind. This was continuously going on. In spite of his falling health, the ups and downs in his health, this program was never changed. Even in Western countries or the Eastern countries, not only he, but all the people who had accompanied me on these trips, he never allowed them to go for any sightseeing, especially for sightseeing. There are very rare occasions. That too, in those occasions, there was a purpose, spiritual purpose. So all his personality was dedicated for the upliftment of the humanity, for the world, for the universal work. And he was sharing all these burden with his close ones. He was sharing this burden on his close ones, and that is why they were suffering, but they were not opening their mouth. They were very quietly undergoing those suffering, taking to be his blessing. And it was really his blessing that he was allowing you to participate in his universal work and universal suffering. There were some instances. You know, I had divided this particularly in Meher Babu work with individuals. There is another portion which this is I was talking about Baba's Mandali, who had accompanied him in every type of work, who has shared Baba's work, Baba's sufferings, and that sharing had spoke on their health. Iraj and Pendu and everyone, none is left out from there. But there is another class of people who are from close families, but who had suffered from their for due to their karma. The best example I will give is a young girl from Satta family. Her name is Dun Gatta. She was not able to walk. It was very weak. Had this ailment from right from her early age. And whenever she was to be brought for Baba's darshan, they used to lift her, and they would lift her and take her close to Baba, and Baba would move his palm on her face or embrace her. Now Baba could have cured that. No. Baba had his own purpose for. She was very from a close family, very close family. In spite of that, any outsider may hope that this girl should be cured by Meher Baba. But Baba was against doing that. One another last case I would take is of a girl from a close Baba family, a young girl. She was tremendously ill. She was admitted in a hospital in Pune, a very famous hospital. That time it was a Jahangir hospital. The building was not very big one. There was a sort of a dome, and but that it was a hospital. She was admitted there. Now it is a very enlarged hospital. Everything is there now. But then that time it was a small hospital. It was a hospital, but a small hospital. Jahangir name indicates it must be for Parsis, but it is a hospital. It may be for other people also. I was very young then, and that time a girl from one family, she was admitted in a very serious condition. She had unbearable suffering, unbearable suffering, continuously in pains. And our center, secretary of the center, K.K. Ramakrishnan, along with one by name Suman, both of them go to see that girl. Looking the state of that girl, Ramakrishnan felt it very bad about it. He closed his eyes, he offered his prayers to Baba, the prayers which Baba has given, Parvadiga prayers and repentance prayer and all that. He felt very bad about it, and after he came to office, he wrote a letter to Baba. Baba, whatever years of my life have been left out until this time, I wish it should be given to this girl because I cannot bear looking at her suffering like this. She should be relieved of this pain. And for that matter, I am ready to forgo all the remaining years of my life. I'll be finishing just within few seconds. And then there was a reply from Ahir Baba. How many lives you have? One you have given to me. And what is left with you now? How you can ask me like this? Baba just put a stop to that matter. But then all the relations, Baba asked them, don't ask me to cure her. It is for her own benefit that she is suffering. Don't ask her to relieve her from this suffering. All the relations Baba had asked. So with such people from close families, the sufferings were because of their karmas, and Baba had always his nazar on them also. I think today we have, I had a mind to sing one song, but the it will take long time because I had a mind to sing on this occasion a song composed by Simam. There is a most of you people must have heard this story about it, but there is no. If I repeat it, nobody will object to it. But now, not today. I will take it next time. Just remind me of that song I have to sing before you, along with the whole incident which had taken place in Guruprasad, and also the deep meaning contained in that song. So await for until next time. I am very much thankful to you for a quiet listening. If anybody has to say something about the whole topic which you have dealt with today, you are free to say, you are free to express your thoughts and express your questions if you have at all any questions you have to ask. From my side,
It was a wonderful talk. Wonderful talk.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I don't think anyone has to ask any question. If there is no question, then would you do like me to take Aarti? Because that song will take a lot of time. So I want to do it at leisure, not just hurry up with that song. So that's why I propose to take Aarti right now. and I hope you will not, you will agree to it. And then we have 3 times avatar Mirabakism over. You agree to this?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
agree. Thank
Which
you.
which are
Yes.
which,
I have a question. May I ask a question?
Jaha Kalpana you want?
Some no.
Betty,
Which
Betty,
arti-
you have a better voice than I for posing this presenting this question to Pratap. He will not hear it good from me. But the lady
Oh,
Asha, who's been coming for Baba Zoom Arti and singing and reading, goes to Pune centers. I wanted to ask Pratap if he still goes to the Pune Center meetings from time to time, and if he knows this lady, because she has a really fine singing and reading voice. She does a good job.
oh,
Love her. Yeah,
thank
Asha.
you.
Do you
Thank
know
you.
her, Pratap?
Well, I think he's ready to sing Archie.
Let
Ah.
him sing Artie. It's Artie time.
Yeah.
Go.
I think.
Okay.
Yes. Artie, please.
Whenever I am speaking and whenever you are, I may not very much clear about any point, you may stop in and ask about it. Don't just overlook, because I want that I want to convey the feeling which we had then. Whenever I discuss something which has happened in Baba's presence, I wish that should also feel that feeling before your eyes. Of course,
Yeah.
the stories about Jean and the other Baba Mandali. That is the elaboration of that topic.
Pratap,
But when
Yeah.
yes, please, yes,
Uh,
please.
Ralph is wondering if you still go to the Pune Center. Do you go
Yes.
to meeting? Yes. And do you know a woman named Asha at the center? Her name is Asha.
Well, explain why we ask.
Whose name you are talking about?
Betty.
Asha.
About that girl.
She
About
sings
that girl.
beautifully.
Huh?
The woman sings nicely, Asha.
Lady from Pune. He didn't want to be interrupted, Betty, with the flow. We're going to interrupt the flow of his talk with the
That's a
art.
good idea, Ralph.
I think there is no, I do not know anybody by name Asha in Pune Center at least.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Artie. Artie.
Artie
So
now.
we are,
Please.
yes, yes.
Yes.
जहाँ कल्पना शब्द न पहुँचे ऐसे अपरंपार नेकी नेकी दे पुकारे महिमा जोरी अपार दिव्य सनातन परम दयाल दिव्य सनातन परम दयाल हे जगदोद्धारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो धूप दीप चंदन चरदाना भोग लगाना फूल चढ़ाना तुमरा ही तुमको लौटाना काहे बढ़ाई करो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो सकल निधि के तुम कारण हो सकल विश्व प्यारे हो तुम सम और नहीं तुम ही हो ये सत्य अवतारो मेरे मन हर किसी तारो मेरे मन हर किसी का सकल चराचर तुम्हारी माया माया भी तो तुम्हारी छाया तुमरा अंकन कोई माया तुम हो अनंत करो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरा मन आरती स्वीकारो अपने को जब जो नहीं जाने महिमा तुम्हारे क्या पहचाने जो कुछ भी कहते अनजाने गुण गाते तुमरो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो श्रीमानाई तुम्हारी कृपा को क्या कोई दे सकता प्रभु तुमको भीख तुम्हें दो प्रेमी जनों को नित्य तुम्हें सुमिरो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरा मन आरती स्वीकारो दिव्य सनातन परम दयाघन दिव्य सनातन परम दयाघन हे जगदोधारो आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar
Meher Baba.
Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba, Jai Baba,
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba. Thank you, Baba.